Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Kelsi Sheren Perspective in our Substack series, whether it's on MAID, government, overreach, world politics. You guys seem to be enjoying it because we are now officially number 99 in the rising world politics. So thank you guys so much for listening to the show. And thank you guys so much for being willing to hear other opinions outside of the traditional media and really just to take a look at the honesty of what's going on in the world and our perspective. I believe deeply that everybody's opinions has a place, but we have to be brave enough to start saying those opinions. And here I am taking that risk. So thank you guys so much for listening. Can you guys do me a favor before you get into this one with me? Go subscribe to our Substack, our YouTube, and our Spotify, and give us a rating. It helps us so much move up in the charts, and it helps us be seen, and all of the work and all the amazing sponsors behind me here. We put the links in the bio. They will help you be well. XXXY, a clothing brand I believe deeply in. Good Living, which helps me stay healthy, grounded. Row Nutrition, which keeps my body and cells feeling great, and the mitochondria through NAD and amazing other supplements like resveratrol and curcumin, as well as, and last but not least, Ketone IQ. You guys have seen me been drinking them now for the past 2 years, and there is a reason why I have one with me every single day, to avoid the crashes, to avoid the constant cravings of food, because I love to eat everything, and most importantly, for the mental acuity and removal of brain fog. So go check them out before you start. And thank you guys so much again. Now let's get right into the CBC being shady. If you guys don't know who the CBC is because you're an American or you're living outside of Canada, the CBC is our state-funded, openly admitted media. Now, I say that because our media is funded by the taxpayers, although we are not able to share media, see news outside of Canada, or share media outside of Canada. And you can actually only see our own media from within the country with a VPN. I'm not at all affiliated with ExpressVPN, but I use them. So I do recommend you guys give them a try. It's very simple. And it has helped me stay either out of prison or for you guys to actually be able to see our media. We upload everything as if we are in another country. It's a crazy place to be where we have to start doing that. So in speaking about CBC, let's talk about my issues with them outside of the blanket admitted ones I just stated to you. The CBC is manipulating you guys again, and anybody who is absorbing it is being slow dripped into. So this is not journalism. It's called coercion and it's called propaganda. And I'm talking specifically about a story that most of you probably haven't even paid attention to because it feels like it's not that big of a deal. But I promise you it is. So let's get right into it. In Canada, the CBC is front and center. As usual, they are romanticizing euthanasia. The medical assistance in dying program, which you guys have heard me speak about extensively, although people are choosing to say things like death is beautiful and a noble act, and it honestly is a tragic consequence of profound suffering and a failure of our care. We need to talk a little bit more honestly and openly about what this is really meaning for Canadian citizens, because it doesn't really feel like anybody else, including our immigration population, is utilizing things like MAID. Canadians are being coerced towards assisted death, and it is absolutely alarming, the numbers. Right now, the UK is worried about the rise of the 4,500 they're expecting to have euthanized, and I'm here to let you know that in 2024, it's roughly 16,500. And they're panicking about their numbers. And I'm saying to them, wait, because they're going to climb. When you have people like the CBC painting a sentimental picture of a couple holding hands and listening nostalgically to their wedding songs moments before they're euthanized together, which is what the CBC is bragging about, the fact that this couple decided to die together. It's emotional manipulation, and it is glamorizing the real truth of what MAID is. It's suggesting that death is peaceful and romanticized, it's dignified, when really it is murder, and the process is deeply complex, deeply troubling, and profoundly tragic. The CBC is packaging death like the Hallmark movie and selling Canadians this euthanasia, beautiful way to die, as something idealistic and desirable, when really it's giving up. And the CBC doesn't just stop at emotional manipulation. Hell, they are actively highlighting the rapid increase of euthanasia requests, although that's something positive or routine according to them. And today, 1 in 20 Canadian deaths is via MAID. And that's a staggering, terrifying number and says a lot about the Canadian society. It really signals that Canada is going through something. This is not just men now with suicide. It's not just our veterans with suicide. This is now being sold to Canadian citizens as a solution to their problems, to their loneliness, to their financial instability, and more importantly, as a brave and noble thing to do. When MAID is giving up, MAID is stopping to try, MAID is no longer looking at things and ways to heal our bodies and minds. It's telling the government that Health Canada, the way that it's been going, is totally fine. We are okay as MAID is the answer to everything and all things. We now know that 96% of those in Canada utilizing the euthanasia program are white. We need to take a look at why that is. Well, it's very easy to manipulate an entire population when all they do is read only your media. And we're here to break that mold. My show and others like mine are here to tell you the honest truth. They're killing you and they're laughing about it because you're just a number to them. And the CBC is just as much a part of that as any other media outlet that is pushing this narrative. The CBC casually is presenting these numbers and suggesting that the rise is not only acceptable, but it is commendable. And that if you don't choose MAID, well, you're just not a good person. We are normalizing being coerced. We are normalizing pressure. We are normalizing the people that have already felt like a burden societally, financially, or emotionally. And these stories that they carefully curate and pick trigger words for you to hold on to are not to help you. It's to reinforce the notion that if you choose death, you're honorably escaping the suffering. That I've said before, and I'll say it again. Who the hell ever told you were going to go through this life without suffering? To experience what life has to offer means to legitimately go through all of the phases of life. That means euphoria and happiness and joy, the birth of a baby, the loss of a loved one. It means to actually feel the things, not numb them. It means to actually choose to go through hard stuff, whether it's the end of your life or not. It means to show others that you can become resilient if you do difficult things. It doesn't mean to give up the way the CBC is suggesting that you do. We aren't even willing to look at things like holistic care and palliative care. The government has tied our hands behind our back time and time again, the way they have done with our veteran population. They are still offering it to veterans, even though the Veterans Affairs Minister has ordered them to stop. Health Canada is choosing this as a solution. They are choosing things like electroshock therapy as a solution instead of giving access to things like psychedelic assisted therapy. Our media is continually being paid by these systems to tell you that death is the way to go. Forget asking for better treatment. Canada has fallen on the healthcare scale across the globe, and we used to be one of the best. And now we are arguably one of the worst. Instead of the CBC choosing to select anecdotes as gentle imagery, they romanticize death. They distort the public perception and sanitize a deeply complicated and ethically charged practice. But journalism in Canada is dead, and we have known that for a very, very long time. It should be only illuminating truth, not manufacturing emotion and normalizing troubling statistics. We saw them do this during COVID, and they will continue to do it and find ways to manipulate you, just like they're doing right now. When I get direct messages and emails every single day, hundreds at a time, saying my loved one only chose this because they were told it was the right thing to do. They're being coerced when we're not in the room. Our loved ones are being told that their disabilities and chronic pain, isolation, and financial stress all can be solved by death. Hey everyone, this episode is brought to you by Row Nutrition. If you guys have not heard of them, please stop what you're doing right now. Go over to their website at Row Nutrition and take a look, because you guys know more than ever, I care so deeply about my mental well-being, my physical, and my TBIs. I do everything I can to look after my body, whether that's cold plunge, ketones, or otherwise. But Row Nutrition is my newest additive, and I have to tell you, I am feeling like money. Let's talk about it. If you're struggling with brain fog, you are slower to recover at times, and you're feeling more down, even if you feel like you're doing everything right, like I was doing, this is what you need. Let's talk about why. The reality is, when you hit your 30s, I'm going on 36, your body's NAD levels, a critical molecule that fuels your energy, recovery, and brain clarity, they drop by half, nearly half. No wonder we're all burnt out. And that's exactly why I partnered with them. They use a liposomal NAD. And let me be completely straight up with you and honest, it's incredible. Normally, you need to go and get NAD IVs for this result, but not with Ro. I am experiencing sustained clean energy, sharper focus, which we all need, and faster recovery. I don't have any jitters. I don't have any crashes. And this is an energy like others that keep me performing my best. It's critical. Let's talk about NAD in general. It fuels your mitochondria. If you guys don't remember high school science, that's what we're talking about. That is the powerhouses in your cells responsible for your energy and clarity. And like I said before, the only real way to get it before was really expensive, uncomfortable, which I've done, IV treatments. But Ro Nutrition has completely changed the game with their new technology. No needles, no downtime, just maximum absorption and results. I have felt the change, and you guys know I only use products that I actually use. So I want you guys to go and give us one a try. It's risk-free. So it is backed by their 60-day money-back guarantee. And I believe in this enough to give you guys 20% off. So go head over to ronutrition.com/discount/Kelsi20 and use your code Kelsi20 at checkout. Now, the one thing I want you to understand is that when you do this, you're not just doing this for you. You're doing this for everyone else around you, because when you feel good, others around you start to feel just as good as well. So go check them out. But people don't really understand what that means. They think, okay, the pain and suffering is gone, but that person is gone. Their life is over. They are no longer here. They cease to exist. When the majority of the times this is used for things that can be healed. If we were actually given the proper healthcare, if we were actually given experimental medicines like psilocybin, which to me are not experimental. We have so much research and data to show that this can work with end-of-life therapy, with pain management, chronic pain, brain injury, disabilities, severe illnesses. But we are told by Canada and our government, we are asking too much. So we leave. We leave the country, we go get treated other places. And CBC will continue to tell you that this is the right answer, to just die, just die, just die. Why don't you die? When I'm here to tell you that every single published narrative is promoting euthanasia as peaceful and beautiful, it's a silent nudge. It's whispering to those vulnerable that death might be indeed preferable, admirable, and reinforcing the fears of being a burden. Don't you notice that as health care and mental health support become less of a stigma, they're using it more as a way to kill you? People are committing suicide at rates right now that are beyond alarming. We thought with the veterans first it was 22, now it's 44. And we keep accepting this number like it's going to get better and easier. And somehow it's just going to magically go away. But when the sinister side of things really is that Health Canada doesn't want you to have access to treatment. It doesn't want you to feel better, because when you feel better, you are no longer financially tied to them. When you are healthy, you are no longer financially tied to a pharmaceutical company. So they want to kill you instead. This is not facetious. This is the truth. We have the facts. We can prove it all. But then you have people like CBC and Dying with Dignity lying right to your face, to your loved ones. I get it's difficult to look after someone that's dying, but that's not what this euthanasia program is being given for. It's being given to anybody struggling with anything at any time for any reason. And culprits like the CBC and Ellen Weeb and Dying with Dignity, all of these people are just as much part of the problem than anything else. We're allowing death to be the solution and not asking ourselves, why can we not do better? Why are we not demanding better from the people that we pay to go into government, who, by the way, have now gone, 7-8 months without even sitting in and still get paid? When's the last time you could do 7 or 8 months and not show up to the job and still get your pension and your paycheck? People like CBC, that's those people. We just gave them millions of dollars more to keep manipulating you. And Canada is, and always has been, and now more than ever, the most propagandized population in the globe. And we brag about that like we're proud of it. The CBC is not journalism. It's a dangerous, complicit problem. CBC has been a problem for a long time. And that's not a shock to most of you listening to my show, but it is for those that are blind, who keep their head in the sand, who would rather having been fed lies than to face the real reality and truth that what is happening is not okay. We should be championing things, guys, like real solutions, care over expediency, and hope over our idea of surrender. Journalism has a moral responsibility to confront the uncomfortable truths, but let's be honest, it doesn't. Very rarely do we confront ourselves when it comes to hard things. We should be looking at how rapidly we are killing people in this country, and we are well over 77,000 Canadians. So let me ask you this. Why is it that we're so okay with killing our citizens instead of looking after them? Why is it that we keep telling them that they're brave for dying? We keep pretending like this is the solution and like it's not our fault. It becomes our fault when you know about the thing and you don't do a damn thing about it. You don't get to remove the responsibility when you say the doctor did it, it's okay. When you sat there and ushered them along the way to go and get themselves killed. Canada used to be the country where we would never think of the death penalty, yet we're using that on our loved ones. Left, right, and center, except there's no judge, jury, or trial. It's just your loved one or the doctor or somebody you're supposed to trust telling you that you should just die. People like the CBC and other media outlets are contributing to this hugely troubling and problematic societal shift. We're normalizing this. It's no longer a last resort. We're dangerously close to a reality where the right to choose death morphs the actual right to look after yourself and expect better healthcare. Because we have to fight against this narrative and we have to be really transparent. There is palliative care. There is real hope. There is real treatment. So why are we defunding the actual people and the palliative care nurses and doctors and places that want to help somebody pass in the most peaceful manner? Why are we accepting putting an IV in your loved one only to have them paralyzed and drown to death? We should be asking ourselves that. And more importantly, the CBC should be asking themselves this. When did you guys become propagandists? At what point did you decide to throw journalism out the window? At what point did you start to tell people that death is the only option and solution? Because right now, CBC is no longer journalism. It feels like an arm of the Third Reich. It feels like another eugenicist promoting, band drumming towards the let's kill ourselves instead of try. I'm not here for it. Most of us aren't. So most of us won't say anything either. Because God forbid we're ostracized by our communities and others and deemed as a pro-life human. All I'm saying and all I'm trying to get you all to understand is it's expanding in 2027. And the CBC is helping all of you decide that that's the right idea. So when it comes for your children and your loved ones who are depressed and just want help, I'm sorry to say, but I will have told you, I told you so this is happening. So instead of sitting there and just continuing to support the CBC, start writing your MPs and saying, if you put funding towards these organizations that help manipulate and tell people that they should die, we will not vote you back in. And remember, every single day you subscribe to the CBC, you support the CBC, all you're doing is helping them to promote and propagandize and slow drip you all into oblivion. I'm here to wake you up. So go subscribe, go support us. We're independent completely. We run off our sponsors. We run off what I do. We will not take government money, and hell, we are not bought. I hope you guys like this one. Go check out the sponsors. And I know these ones are heavy. So do yourself a favor. Go stand in the grass, hug a loved one, and let somebody know that they should never, ever choose death and that you will always be there to help them through the hard things. And CBC, shocker, not that you guys have any morality left. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. This episode is brought to you by Ketone IQ. And if you guys have not seen me drinking it, it has been behind me. It has been everywhere. But ketones, I want to tell you a little bit more because you ask all the time, are a powerful macronutrient and they cross the blood-brain barrier. They supercharge your brain. And not only do they do that, I have reported and seen my own sharper focus and stronger endurance in next level performance. I use them before podcasts, before keynote speeches, and before I work daily with clients and when I get on my road bike. But this is not just that feeling good type ad. This is for real. This is backed by science. And in a placebo-controlled study, Ketone IQ users saw a 19% increase in sprint power, 13% in more peak power, and 10% less fatigue. And the ketone levels spiked 5 times in just 20 minutes. So when it comes to recovery, Ketone IQ improves blood flow, muscle oxygenation, and even boosts EPO, which is critical for your stamina and the bounce back factor. So if you guys are chasing that edge, physical or mental, Ketone IQ is the shortcut to getting into those zones. Do yourself a favor, go over to ketone.com and use the code Kelsi. You're going to save 30% off your next subscription. And I do promise you, ketone is no joke. Ketone fuels the flow. And I'm telling you, it is the best thing I have ever gotten into. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Good Living. I am so excited to tell you about something that's become such a meaningful part of my wellness routine, Good Living. Now, this isn't any brand. This is actually a brand I know all of the owners behind. And let me tell you, their integrity, their dedication, and their quality is the real deal. Their microdosing and functional blends are crafted with intention, and you can feel it. Everything is tested and made to support you in tapping into your own rhythm. We're talking about blends for anxiety, depression and stress, ADHD, brain health, inflammation, sleep, and energy. Seriously, they have thought of everything possible. I know firsthand how much love they pour into every single product. So if you're ready to check them out and explore more, go to itsgoodliving.com. And trust me, it's a journey worth taking. That's itsgoodliving.com, itsgoodlivin.com. And make sure to use the code Kelsi and get 20% off your first order today.